Welcome everyone to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner Aaron Rift, here to answer your questions regarding the world of professional wrestling. So let's get right down to it. Do you think Drew McIntyre will ever get a push like he did when he first started in WWE? It's hard to say because, like John Morrison, Drew McIntyre is stuck in limbo right now, so to speak. With the whole Raw SmackDown Super Show deal, some of these mid-card guys are going to be lost in the shuffle. You got Randy Orton on Raw now, you got Mark Henry, you got Christian, and there's just too many guys. So Drew McIntyre is definitely in a tough spot. Now, if he sticks it out for a while, maybe there'll be another opportunity for him down the line, but right now it's not looking too good. Do you think second and third generation wrestlers have a better shot at getting to WWE or TNA than first generation wrestlers do? Absolutely. It always pays to have your foot in the door or have some kind of advantage when you're in competition with a whole bunch of other guys that are trying to make it into the business. So that's definitely going to help. One downside to it is that the expectations are going to be really high. If you're a second or third generation star, they're going to hope that you can achieve the same success or even greater success than your parent. So it's a double-edged sword. Could be good, could be bad. Hey Aaron, what would you think about WWE's music composer Jim Johnson being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? No one ever seems to mention him, but I've always thought he was highly deserving. His music has been a huge part of WWE programming since '85. Thanks. Absolutely. Part of the whole package of WWE is, the wrestlers themselves, the entrance music, the pyro, the whole rock concert feel to it, and Jim Johnson definitely played a role in all that. Those theme songs help make those guys larger than life, and very entertaining theme songs. So I am very much in agreement with you. He should get that spot in the Hall of Fame, definitely. And, guys like Kevin Dunn should absolutely be in there, and some of the other behind-the-scenes guys that really play a big role in what we see on WWE TV. Hey, Aaron, do the WWE Championship titles stay with the superstars once they win them, or do they always use the same titles and just change the inscriptions on them? I think they just use the same titles. I mean, it's very easy for these guys when they win the title to just have a replica belt made and just, that way they can frame it in their wall or whatever. And I'm sure WWE just has, the one belt that they use non-stop, and if it breaks or whatever, they just get a replacement. But yeah, there's no need for those guys to actually have the real belt. They can just get a replica made. What's next for Low Ki wrestling-wise? Haven't heard anything about him since Destination X. Great job, Aaron, on all these Q&A videos. Really enjoying them. If you answer this question, can you give me a shout-out? STRT5150. Thanks, dude. I think Low Ki is just going to keep doing independents and overseas. I guess TNA doesn't really want anything to do with him right now, for whatever reason. Like going back to one of the previous videos, TNA's roster has just been so overbloated right now, and I guess there's just no room for Low Ki right now. And it's a shame about his whole, American wrestling career, because he did the NXT thing and he won the competition, he won the fan votes. And then he was released like 2 months later. So, really unfortunate that WWE didn't give that guy a shot, but he was pretty much the opposite of the kind of guy WWE likes to push. So, wasn't really that big of a shock, just more of a disappointment. Who do you think had a better rookie year? Wade Barrett or Sheamus? I would say Sheamus because he actually won the world title a couple of times in that 1 year period, and Wade Barrett started off really hot, but it fizzled out really quickly. Within 6 months, Wade Barrett was just another guy. So, yeah, definitely Sheamus. Sheamus has had a really good run, His second year has been almost as good as his first year. He's doing really well right now. Where would you rank Punk among the all-time best overall performers? I know it's early in his career, but do you see him ever reaching the level of, say, HBK? He has the mic skills, the in-ring skills, and VKM seems to realize he can draw. Yeah, I definitely think CM Punk's best days are ahead of him. Right now, he's not there in the the top tier of all-time greats, but he's well on his way to getting there. If he gets another 5-10 years at the top, he's definitely going to be up there with the likes of Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair and so on and so forth. What do you think is the most ridiculous swerve WWE has ever done? I believe it was the whole VKM Bastard Child angle. Basically, they took a potentially great storyline, made it horny instead of Kennedy, and it made 0 sense and no lasting effects. Well, that whole situation was partly due to Kennedy getting suspended and having all of his issues, so WWE had to change plans. It was definitely a disappointment. I was never really a huge fan of the greater power angle because for months and months they were building up Vince McMahon slowly turning babyface and just becoming a regular character again, and then they just out of nowhere he's a heel. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Didn't really make any sense. They desperately tried to show footage and try to make it make sense, but it was silly. I mean, it was entertaining, but it was ridiculous. Entertaining, but ridiculous. What did you think about John Cena's rapping gimmick? Do you think the IWC tends to overrate this gimmick a little bit? No, it was one of the best gimmicks of the 2000s. It was totally unique. Who else was doing the rapping gimmick, and who could do it better than John Cena? Cena, got the crowd oohing and awing, and it was extremely entertaining. And that's what made him a superstar. It wasn't the superhero gimmick, it was the rapping gimmick. So it was what it was. It was very entertaining. Do you think Petey Williams would make a good addition to WWE? With his finisher, it could boost hype and ratings. What do you think? I don't think they would allow Petey to do that finisher in WWE just because I think, first of all, WWE doesn't have a lot of cruiserweight guys and small guys, so he's not going to be able to do that finisher on very many people. So, and like I said, going back to low key, Petey Williams is the exact opposite of the kind of guy WWE likes to push. He's too small, and he's decent on the mic, but not that great. So there's not a lot of whole upside to bringing him in, quite frankly. Hey Aaron, just wondering, what was the most painful botch that you've ever seen in WWE or TNA? Sid Vicious breaking his leg, no doubt about it. It's sin. And then Steve Austin's pile driver from Owen Hart, when he, just brutal, and it's hard to watch. Especially Sid breaking his leg. Wow. That was just very, very grotesque. Alright, that about does it for NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. The weekend is wrapping up here. Thank you very much for checking out the show. I'd like to thank each and every member of the NoD crew for all your support. And keep on spreading the word. YouTube.com/NoDQCAW. Tell your friends, anybody you know that watches wrestling, have them subscribe and check out the videos. Check out all the NoDQ&A videos, especially if you're going to leave a question. Try to submit a question that I've not already answered, and you can do so by going to NoDQForums.com and the NoDQ&A forum. You can submit questions there. And with that being said, we'll see you next time for NoDQ&A video.